Hi, this is Lee Sheward. I'm the stunt coordinator for Ted Lasso, and you're watching Rafters, Sports and Movies.
It's Scott here with Rafters, Sports and Movie, and I've got my glove out, and I'm not going to try not to show you who it is because they're not sponsoring this segment. I don't feel like paying them, so giving them a free spot. But I do have my baseball, I do have my glove, my bat's in the background there, and in the Rafters today, I've got a special guest. His name is Jason Ruffcorn, professional pitcher. Going to talk with some baseball to us today. Hello there, Jason. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Do you have a ball handy? I didn't ask you that in the backstage. Do you have a ball handy?
Always.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, keep that handy. I'm going to probably ask you to show me something because I had a ball when I was young that had all the markings of all the different pitches. It had little fingerprints on them.
Yep.
And I was usually really good about my stuff, but I left it outside, missed it when I brought my stuff in. Rained unexpectedly that night, and the ball warped into this ugly orb thing, like totally wicked crazy. It looked like something from a sci-fi movie. I never became a pitcher, but you did. So let's talk a little before we get into movie rankings, and we're going to talk top 5 movie rankings for those that have dropped in to check this out. How did you get from little Jason to adult Jason to today Jason in your journey of baseball?
Always loved playing for the most part. Like, I never took a year off. I never stopped playing. Anytime I could, I would pick up the ball and want to go play catch. So never really always wanted to play. And then I played in high school. I ended up being pretty good where I got noticed from scouts. Had Tommy John surgery my junior year, so that kind of put everything on hold. Senior year, went from a nobody to being committed to Texas A&M University. Did okay there, had some success, but ultimately transferred away. Wasn't the right fit for me, nothing against the program, and went to University of Oklahoma. Loved the program, loved the coach there. That coach is one of my favorite coaches of all time and one of the smartest, like, mechanical pitchers I know, and he helped me create who I am today and being a pitcher in the minor leagues.
So the coach at Oklahoma, the one you're talking about, the technical pitcher, was he the coach, or was the pitching coach?
He's the head coach and the pitching coach. It's Skip Johnson, and he's still there right now.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. And that's awesome, but I also think that's awesome for your development to have experienced 2 different programs and to see and to understand and not just go with the flow and like, okay, this is just how it's going to be, and seeing that there are greener pastures out there, and then going to Oklahoma. And had you ever been physically to Oklahoma prior to that?
Yeah. In high school, my sophomore year, I went to a camp at Oklahoma, just a baseball camp, just trying to get noticed a little bit, and had a call with the old head coach at that time. And then he left whenever Skip got the job there. So ended up being a really good fit whenever I went there.
That's pretty incredible. Now, when you played, and you said you never took a summer off, never took a season off. If there was baseball in play, you're smack dab in it. Did you do the travel team thing?
Yes, I played with the Austin Wings growing up, which was a summer ball team, and then they would have fall ball. It was never like a travel, but we always stayed local for tournaments and just played as much as we could.
Okay, so it's travel, but not travel.
Yeah, so like in the summer, we would travel. In the fall, we try to stay in the Austin area, maybe go to Houston or Dallas once or twice.
Okay, so we're trying to continue to stay in school and not be homeschooled at that point.
Yes.
That's what that's all about, right?
Yeah. But in summer, it was wherever, whenever. Like we would go to
No
travel.
holds barred. And that's kind of, I don't particularly care for the shrunken summer, which is what the kids are getting these days. School ends in June almost, or in June, and starts straight up August. And used to, school started in September, and you go and you would end in May and start in September.
Yeah, I always remember it would be May to like mid-August, I believe. But like we'd have all of June and all of July off.
Right. So tell me about what a professional baseball player does in the off season. What's your regiment? What do you do? I mean, you're what, a month off of baseball at this point?
Probably a month and a half. I'm getting close to 2 at this point. I think we end mid to late September, so all of October and November we're off. But training, I go to the weight room 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I throw twice, or no, I started out throwing like early in this off season, twice a week, just easy, move my arm. But now it's starting to ramp up, trying to get ready for spring training in January, February timeframe. So I have my first bullpen next week and starting to really stretch distances, get back in baseball playing shape.
Okay, so note for the kids then, you don't really take any physical time off. You always are developing or strengthening or maintaining your muscle strength and your speed, pitch. Yeah. You're doing something. You're not like, I'm going to gain 300 pounds this off season and then I'll shed it all a week before and I'll be ready for spring training. Yeah, it doesn't work.
I give myself like a week to 2 weeks off completely, where like after a full season, like you need time to relax and like let your body heal, because you just spent, I think we play 136 games, not including spring training, with 6 days a week with an off day every week, where that off day I was always out golfing with buddies. So I never really like gave myself a break where I let myself like week and a half to 2 weeks kind of just relax, enjoy an off season, and probably gain a little bit of weight just there. But after that, then it's like, how do I get ready for next season? What's the best way to do it? Now I'm still spending time with my family, my girlfriend, everything, and enjoying it, where I just have like a 2-hour block every day where I'm getting ready for a season.
That's so funny you say that, because I was thinking about that very same thing of the whole off season for any athlete. But as you get, I mean, your metabolism's probably still pretty high, right? Where you can kind of eat whatever you want and it'll burn off pretty quickly. But I think about those players. I mean, who would you say is the oldest baseball player right now? It doesn't have to be right. Just what would you guess be, and how old would he be?
Max Scherzer's up there. I think he's late 30s. And then Kershaw's up there too. They're both probably right around
pushing 30.
Pushing 30s, yeah.
I didn't know the answer to the question. That's why I threw it out there and gave you a safety net, because I didn't want to put you on the spot, because I don't know the answer. But, 20s versus late 30s. And then Nolan Ryan, good Lord, he played deep into his age, and yet was still accurate and throwed some pretty hard balls. But when you start with 100 and then you take it off to 80, it's still, there's nothing wrong with that, right? When that's your pitch. And you don't take any crap from the Rangers. That's what he taught us also. At least that's what I think. Anyway. Yeah. So talking about this, you mentioned your favorite coach. So that was one of my questions. So you nailed that one.
Perfect.
Of all the people you've played against, who would be your jersey swap moment if you could have had that moment? Because I don't know that that's such as big a thing in baseball as it is in football. But let's make it a thing, and let's say it is a thing. Who would you say, hey, let's swap jerseys? I want to swap jersey with you. Who do you think that would be?
That's tough, because like obviously I'm in the minor leagues still, where I haven't gotten a chance to play against some of the big leaguers like that I grew up watching or anything like that. But I would say one of the cooler ones I think I've never played against them, but if I could, I would love to like meet them and like shake their hand and do everything. Would be I don't know his name, but like, so I'm a big fan of closers, obviously, and like Kenley Jansen, Craig Kimbrell, a couple of those. Like, whenever I started like really watching baseball, those two were like at the peak of their game, some of the top closers, and like I just think being able to like meet them, talk with them, and like shake their hand and swap jerseys would be one of the cooler things I can do.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going with this, was that you got the mindset totally correct on that. That's exactly where I was going with that. Because I do think we do watch, and we do, in order to learn and to get better, we have to see somebody else do it. And then we see them do it and they're like, that's pretty good. Now, how did they get there? What was their, I noticed watching the World Series, even the infielders and outfielders had little cards in their pockets. And so, and they look laminated. It didn't look like it was, just a sticky note. It's like, I'm going to write this on a little sticky note here and put it in my pocket. They would sweat that out in the first inning, right? I mean, it would be destroyed.
Oh yeah.
So to see that progression on the pitchers and the infielders and the outfielders, like who's coming up? Oh, where should I be for infielders and outfielders? Shifting and stuff like that. But also seeing the pitchers understand who's coming up, what the situation is. Do we want him to pop up? Do we want him to ground out? Do I want to strike him out? Do I want to walk him? Sometimes a walk is a walk, right? Sometimes it just happens because they're not biting on what they're supposed to be biting on. He's notorious for chasing down and away. And today he's not chasing for some reason. What's wrong with him? What's he doing? He's done that in the last, how many games? 186 games. And now he doesn't want to chase. What is wrong with this man?
Yeah, there's definitely some times where like whenever I was watching the World Series, like whenever like Shohei Ohtani or like Freddie Freeman came up in like big clutch moments, like I want to say on the 18 inning game, they intentionally walked Shohei 5 times, I believe.
That game I did not watch, and thank God I didn't, because I'm like, is this game ever going to end? It wasn't the longest in history, but it was, I think, the second longest, or tied with the second longest.
But there's definitely times where like a good example would be like facing like Shohei, where it's like you have a runner on third with 1 out. You don't want him to put the ball in play. You'd rather walk him, but you don't want to just give him a free walk. So like you kind of like, you see what he likes to swing at. You pitch to those weaknesses that he like shows tendencies to swing at a little bit more. They might not be strikes, like fastball 2 balls above the zone, like changeups well below the zone. Like you're intentionally walking him without actually intentionally walking him. Like, because if he happens to swing at 2 of those, all of a sudden you're in a 2-strike count. You can get a weak pop out or a punch out, or you just throw 4 straight. He takes all of them, and you're good. All of a sudden you fight the next battle.
I've never liked the call, and we're going to intentionally. I've never liked the intentional walk. I mean, at least let's make a game of it. Try to do something, but it's a thing, and sometimes that's like we're not gonna waste your arm throwing 4 pitches to this guy at all. We're just gonna send him to first. But in that instance, more than likely, like you said, there's nobody else on base. So. And I do think watching baseball, that's one of the better things they've done, is put the little bottom right-hand corner with the bases so you can see who's on base, because they don't give you the wide shot of the field so you can see it yourself. They give you the tight pitching shot. And so I think watching baseball in general has gotten better. And for TV, baseball is a very watchable sport. Whereas hockey is the worst watchable sport.
Like in football, you see everyone and everything going on. So like, there's no need for like any other graphics. Just let you watch the game. Meanwhile, baseball, you can't show everything at one time because it's such a like. In football, everyone's condensed mostly to like a 10-yard gap, at least to start the play. Obviously, as a play develops,
that's the pan in.
But with baseball, everyone's everywhere to start. You can't show all like 9 defenders and the 1 hitter at the same time, where you kind of got to pick and choose when to go everywhere. So they do a great job making it watchable. Also, the implementation of the intentional walk, instead of having the pitcher throw like 4 lazy pitches way out of the zone, makes it just quicker, as well as the pitch clock has made everything speed up a little bit too.
So let's talk pitch clock, and then I want to talk growing up again, and then we'll jump over to our movies. So I was at Sugarland Space Cowboys this summer, or I'm sorry, it was fall. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I went to a game.
Yep.
And they were doing a Harry Potter night, so it was a big promotional night.
Oh, yeah.
There are kids everywhere, which didn't bother me at all. But minor leagues is known for doing great promotional, fun stuff.
Yes.
That's not where I'm going with this, but I just shout out to the minors for doing it right. Two things I noticed was the pitch clock, and also a rule that's going to go into effect in the majors next year is the I can challenge rule,
Yes.
which was being tested. The other thing was throwing the ball over the net, because they had the net all the way around, and they must have thrown 16 balls over the net. I'm like,
Yes.
that is just classy, I thought.
Yeah.
Because you want everybody to have that moment where they remember baseball when they were a kid, then they become a player or a manager or an agent or something, and they want to perpetuate that and give them that memory. So how do you feel about this challenge and how it's going to move forward?
I think it's interesting. So I played in AAA, not this past year, but the year before for a couple of games, just when they needed an arm. And that was whenever it was 3 of the days were automatic balls and strikes, the ABS system. There was no challenge. It was just true, the TrackMan or whatever. I think it's Hawkeye. And like, if it was clipping the zone, it's a strike. If it wasn't, it was a ball. The umpire behind the plate didn't, like, he got a buzz in his ear when it was a strike. And then if he didn't get a buzz, it was a ball. So he didn't really have a true strike zone, where he was just kind of like there as a figurehead, versus with the challenge system, it's still his zone. But now the hitter or the pitcher has a chance to be like, are you sure about that? I'm pretty sure that was in the zone. And there's been a couple times where like there's an obvious strike where it's like, I think whenever you might have not seen it, but whenever it misses, sometimes it says like how much it misses, and it can be like 0.3 nanometers or whatever versus like 2 inches. And I think whenever it's like one of those close-ish calls, for me, those are insignificant. But whenever like the umpire clearly misses, whether it's a strike or a ball, and it's not even close, that holds having the challenge system helps the integrity of the game in that instance. Right.
Hey, Russell, thanks for joining us. I got Russell send me some chats here, and he welcomes you on. And he asked, you already mentioned you play golf, but he asked, do you like golf? I mean, is that something that you want to be better at? Just casual golfer or what have you?
Anything I do, I want to try to be like really, really good at it. I don't like just doing something for fun. I want to like be competitive and try my best. Where I actually got to golf with Gavin over December, and I've gotten to a point where I'm pretty solid at golf, but obviously I've yet to break par, and that is one of my goals just in my golf journey in general. Like, I want to shoot under par one time.
Okay. Also, who is your favorite baseball team? That sounds like a trap to me. Star Wars reference. But let's roll it back to growing up. Who was your favorite baseball team?
My dad played, and I'll always have a little bit of bias for White Sox and Phillies, as well as like I got drafted by the Phillies originally, where I will always be thankful for that organization to give me a chance. So
did they originally drafted your dad too, right?
No, the White Sox drafted my dad first and then traded him over to the Phillies.
Okay, so for everybody that doesn't know, this is Jason Ruffcorn. He's our guest today. But his dad, Scott Ruffcorn, is also a baseball player. Played for the White Sox system, played in the White Sox system. So White Sox fans, that's Chicago, you guys have probably already tracking and know what that means. Yes, Scott Ruffcorn played with Michael Jordan. As a matter of fact, fun fact, Scott Ruffcorn had number 45 before Michael Jordan did. Mind blown yet? Yes, guys, somebody else had that number before Michael Jordan. It wasn't just sitting around waiting for him. True story.
That is a true story. And if you ever get a chance, ask my dad about the story of getting Jordan the number 45, because that's a good one.
Oh, I'm hoping I can get him on, and maybe around January. I don't know when. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to him, because there's another side of the coin, and this is the one side I'm going to talk about now, is having a parent that was a professional athlete and in the same sport you're in. How is that coming up, and how did that help you laser focus and get you to this point?
So growing up, I always knew my dad was a big league pitcher, yada yada yada, and I was like, whatever, like it is what it is. I don't really know any better. I'm like, oh cool, he played baseball. And as I've gotten older and gone up in my own personal baseball journey, like I'm starting to realize how good he really was and how much of an influence he was on me growing up. Like I can't tell you how many bullpens I've done with him where he would harp on me on littlest things, like making sure my mechanics are the same, making sure I stay consistent. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's just my dad telling me, like, I'll do it, but like, it's just my dad. Meanwhile, now I'm looking back and I'm like, this guy was literally at the peak of his game. He literally, like, he was a first rounder. He was a major leaguer and like had some success up there where it's like, I should have listened a lot better, knowing if I knew now what I knew, if I knew then what I know now, it would have like changed my thought process on like who was really talking to me. And that's why, like, even today, I will call him after every outing and we'll go over certain things, talk about how to set up hitters, what I did wrong. And he's just a great resource that I have like in the back of my pocket.
Well, and also you have the 100% confidence that he doesn't have an alternative motive.
Yeah.
His motive is you.
Oh, he has motive. He wants me to succeed.
Right, exactly. But he doesn't, it doesn't come with candy coatings or glosses or, any of that other garbage that could potentially come from a coach, because coaches are coaches. And I'm not, anyway, but he comes there with love and with admiration and with guidance. And, as he mentioned, Gavin, that's my son. We want our kids to be better versions of us. That's the ultimate goal. And so I think that's pretty cool that you were able to have that growing up. But it doesn't sound like you had the pendulum swing the other way, like do it, do it, do it. It was like, if you want to be this, I'll help you, but this is your path to take. You could be second base and I'd be happy.
Yeah, he was, whenever I was growing up, he made me try football, soccer, basketball, like all of the other sports. He didn't want me to pigeonhole me into baseball. I just have happened to really love baseball and want to continue to play it.
That's awesome. Okay, so are you ready to get to some baseball movie stuff here?
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're going to go backwards. So we'll start with your fifth, and then one is your favorite. And so, do you want me to start off, or do you want to start off?
You got it.
Okay, well, you're the guest. I'm going to let you go first. I shouldn't even said that. I should have said you're going to go first. Right. So, coming in at number 5, what do you got?
I got Moneyball. It's one of the more accurate. Like, obviously, nothing's perfect, but like seeing how it works and like seeing like how I'm in baseball, like I think it's one of the more interesting movies about sports, especially baseball, where it's like it's so unique in its premise where I really enjoyed watching it. And obviously the Tale of the A's at that point is really, really cool as well.
I am embarrassed because I don't have Moneyball on my list. And now I wish we'd have kind of done a top 10, because I do think Moneyball would definitely be in my top 10, but top 5, wow. I don't know. I probably messed up my list, but this is all about having fun and enjoying talking baseball. And like I said, when we were in the back room, there's over 70 baseball movies, at least 8 different TV series. So there's plenty to watch when it comes to baseball. That's not supposed to be on there right now. What is going on? Hang on. Let me look at this real quick. What am I doing here? That's what I wanted to push. All right. So for me, coming in number 5 from 1976, I have the Bad News Bears. And that is very sentimental to me. I was 6 years old at the time. I saw it in the theater, second week out in the theater, which is pretty incredible. And even though they made the movie and they were saying, we're afraid kids won't want to play baseball because of the language and the kicking and the screaming and all that. I wanted to play. I thought, I want to play. I don't want to be the Bears. I want to be better than the Bears. I don't want to be the Yankees, though, because they were the bad guys. So I want to be better than the Bears, but I definitely don't want to be the jerk Yankees. But that's, so I don't know, maybe interchanging that in for Moneyball. I don't know. So I'll lead off with number 4. And my number 4 is The Sandlot. And for me, Sandlot is one of those, it hits everybody the same. It hits them right here. It hits them right in the heart. Because we all want to play on the Sandlot. We all want to run with our buddies, and we all just want to play good and have fun. And so I don't know, maybe Sandlot could drop out for Moneyball too, for that, if we got a little more intense and there was a grade. What do you got for number 4?
I got For the Love of the Game, the Kevin Costner, about him pitching per game when he looks around and like every out of that represents his life. And like, it's just such a cool thing to like think about, like, because there are times whenever you're playing baseball, especially like whenever you play 136 games, like games kind of blend together and sometimes your head's not all the way in it. And then you look around and realize I should enjoy where I'm at, especially like being in the big leagues and what he was doing. Like, that's just one of the cooler stories I think I've ever seen.
Such a well-made movie. I mean, the whole thing, even I don't want to give anything away, but even the backstory part of the movie, that's where I was going with that. The backstory part of the movie was done well, but they stepped it up. He was in a Cleveland. Was it Cleveland? I can't remember who it didn't sound right. Cleveland doesn't sound right. Anyway, he was a big league team. He was a real team, not a fake team.
Yeah.
Which some of these movies do to save money.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm kind of seeing where your list is going. So you had For the Love of the Money game. Okay, number 3. What do you got for number 3?
A League of Their Own. One of the most iconic lines I've ever heard is "There's no crying in baseball," and it's just such a good movie and so funny and so well made as well.
Very lighthearted. You feel like you're really there. They made Madonna a baseball player. Madonna. And did she sing in them? I think she did sing in the movie too, like karaoke or something.
Or like On the Bus or something like that.
Yeah, it was a small little nod to herself.
Yeah.
And then Rosie O'Donnell?
Rosie O'Donnell, I believe.
And of course, Gina Davis was phenomenal as well. So for me, number 3, and this probably will surprise a lot of people, Field of Dreams is my number 3. And we kind of talked a little bit about Field of Dreams and Kevin Costner in the back room. I definitely respect the movie. I like the movie. And I enjoyed what it had to offer. But I can't put it any higher than 3. You know what I mean? Because I do think at the core of Field of Dreams, it's, can we have another catch, Dad?
Yeah.
And that gets me right here every time. Just 1,000 watch of that movie, because that really was what the movie was about.
Yes.
Other than saving the players coming out, that was his dad came out of the cornfield, which is cool. Yeah. They're doing something with Field of Dreams now. I've heard rumors about a Field of Dreams 2. They did bring back the Field of Dreams series. New York had they came out of the corn.
I don't know if there's I don't know if it's I know they do a game or 2 there, I believe.
Well, what I'm referring to about the Yankees had a fake cornfield in their own stadium, and they came through that. That's what I think I remember. Maybe I dreamed that. I don't know.
I know the Yankees and the Tigers played 2 years ago at like a Field of Dreams like stadium, and they came out of the corn and they did all of that, and then they obviously played a full game there as well.
Have you ever run through corn, Jason? It is not fun. It is
I
not.
believe
No, it's scratchy. And when I was growing up, there was cornfields, and we would go play, and we'd end up running through the corn. And this was before Children of the Corn, because if you watch that movie and then go play in the corn, you don't want to play in the corn. But it's not fun. So for them coming out of the corn, I'm like, that doesn't look. And they're wearing wool, the wool, not my Rafters jersey is not wool. It's the nice, super synthetic jerseys that you guys enjoy today. So Russell, I had another question in the chat for you. If you could play golf with any celebrity, who would it be?
Jordan. That'd be one of the coolest. Like, obviously, they're like Tiger Woods and a couple other guys would be cool. But like playing golf with Michael Jordan, like kind of bringing it full circle. Like my dad played baseball with him. If I could just like talk with him, hang out with him for 3 hours, 4 hours on the golf course, that would be really cool.
More on that later. we'll get that straight from your dad. Those stories. So you gave me your 3 was A League of Their Own. Mine was for Field of Dreams. My number 2 For the Love of the Game.
Yep.
Costner. And what was your number 2?
The Rookie, I believe is what it's called. It's the one of
Dennis Quaid?
Yes. It's the real life story of, I think his name is Jim Abbott.
That sounds correct. Yep.
Yeah. Where like he was an old high school coach, was
in Texas,
pick, and then all of a sudden started throwing hard again and actually made the big leagues after he retired. So I think that's one of the cooler stories, as well as like Dennis Quaid's really, really good and does a great job in that.
Dennis Quaid and Kevin Costner do great sports movies. Yes. They really do. They're both very good at. They look very natural, and the kid that plays his son in The Rookie is the kid from 2 Men and a Kid, the Charlie Sheen TV series.
Oh, 2.5 Men.
2.5 Men, yeah. So that's the child. He's the little at that point. He's the son of Dennis Quaid in that, and also one of his baseball players was in Coach Carter as a basketball player. Oh. So lots of crossover, other actors going on and doing other things. Yeah. But I struggle with The Rookie on my list, but I haven't seen it in so long. I was kind of like, but it would definitely be in my top 10. And I totally agree with all your reasons why it's at number 2 for you. All right, bring it home with your number 1. And I think we're going to have the same number 1.
I don't think so, because mine's The Sandlot.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, it's a classic, one of the better baseball movies, and just kind of brings everything together for me. Like, there's a lot of like great movies, but that one always just hits home.
It's so fun, and they're having fun, and they're being kids. And I've heard stories about how
baseball's meant to be fun. It's not like, because obviously, I like, for me, it's a job, but like at the end of the day, like I'm supposed to have fun in it. Like that's all it is.
Right. Did I have fun today doing my job?
Yes.
And if you say yes, life is good. If you said no, I need to do something different, or that was one thing a couple of years ago. Well, it's still happening now. When the Astros had their run, and even after they had their run, somebody hit a home run, they're ignoring them.
Yes.
And then they mob them, or they were doing something fun. And now the teams have like a jacket or a scepter or something.
Yeah.
Don't the Mariners have a trident?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or something fun when you do something extraordinary. And I think that shows the outside world we're still having fun.
Yes.
We're still having fun. Well, my number 1, and I should go put the jersey on. The Natural is my number 1. Yeah. Robert Redford, who left us, I think last year, he passed. But he left us with an awesome baseball movie. 1984. So I was in high school at the time. So it didn't have any effects on me because I was already playing high school ball. And, so a lot of these movies I look back on, the only one that's on this list that was from my youth was Bad News Bears. Was the only one that was from way back machine. Whereas the rest of them, I was either in high school or already an adult. Like The Sandlot was, I was already an adult and just had graduated college, as a matter of fact. So kind of give you a time there. Now, I graduated in 92, so 93 that came out. But the thing I really, really liked about The Natural, the story's good. Could have been tweaked a little bit, absolutely. But I like the clank of the ball in the stadium.
Yes.
When he hits the home runs and that clanking sound and that echoing, I really want to talk to the sound guy on how did you decide on that? Because it's so perfect.
Yeah.
And sound people don't get enough credit in movies, in my opinion.
No.
So Russell came in with his top three. He gave us his top three Costner movies. He came in number one at Tin Cup, Draft Day, and then Field of Dreams. So those definitely all good movies. And I've got a good friend of mine.
Also another good one. That's baseball and Kevin Costner, where it's just funny as can be.
So I struggled with that one. It was almost in my top five. It was like it was there, and then I pulled it out. Other honorable mentions: Major League.
Yes.
And I don't know. They've called you Wild Thing before, right? At some point.
I've gotten that a couple times. Yeah.
Let's see, Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac.
Yep.
Oh man, I rewatched that not too long ago, and I'm like, how did this not get more oomph? But it came out in 2004. I think we were kind of in a lull for movies at that point. Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck.
Oh yes.
Was a good one because it's Japanese baseball mostly, and so it has a whole different culture of baseball. Which I think if anybody gets the opportunity to play overseas, Japan specifically, I don't know anywhere else I would want to go play.
I think Korea also is a good one. Like both Japan and Korea have their own leagues, I believe.
And that are very interesting and respectful of the game. And that was good. And then I was very lucky. Flew this weekend for Thanksgiving. Got to watch 42 on the plane.
Oh yeah, such a good movie.
And I think Harrison Ford probably should have got a nod for something if he didn't. I don't think he did because he played the owner. Yeah. And at some point, I kind of forgot it was Harrison Ford. I'm like, is there Indiana Jones? And then you forget. And then he acts and brings you in. Yeah. So that was another one that very well could have made it into the top five for sure. Do you have any others that stick out in your mind?
No, 42 was one of the ones that I was like, whenever I was looking at like all the baseball movies, that was like up there for like top five easily. That could have been either 5 or 4 for me, but like I was like, it's such a well-made movie. It's such a good like story, and obviously like 42 is retired for a reason because of what Jackie Robinson did. Where it really did like, it's such a good movie.
It could have been so easy to quit.
Yes.
It could have been so easy to quit, and nobody would have blinked an eye. Nobody would have said boo. They would have just accepted the quitting and moved on. And for him to stick with it and push through. And now his number is retired. Every ball club in the major league has retired 42, which is the only player that's ever happened to.
Ever. And I think my dad actually might have been one of the last ones to wear it for the Phillies, I believe, which is kind of cool. And then obviously one of the most like famous like last wears is Mariano Rivera with the Yankees.
Right. That's crazy. So I had two baseball movies that are probably the saddest baseball movie, and may actually be the saddest movie, period. One is Hardball with Keanu Reeves. Mm-hmm. And have you seen that one, Jason?
I have, yes.
Okay, I ask because some people haven't seen it, and I always have to tell them, if you watch it, take some tissues because it's going to hit you right in the face.
It definitely.
And I was watching it, and a friend of mine had told me it's really sad, and I'd never seen it. I'm like, this is like 6 months ago I watched it and hadn't watched it before. I'm like, oh, it's Keanu Reeves. I'll watch it. And so I'm watching, I'm like, oh man, this movie's not sad. And then it hit me and I'm like, oh man, because it's kind of deep into the movie when it gets really mega sad. And you don't see it. You think you know what's coming, but then it hits you. My other one that was real sad, and I think you might have mentioned this one, The Hill, also with Dennis Quaid. He plays the dad. If you may not have,
Maybe. I feel
um,
like I've heard of it, but I don't know if I've actually like seen it all the way through.
so The Hill is based off a true story, and the kid had wore leg braces coming up.
Yes.
And his dad was a preacher and was very, very hard on him. And that was Dennis Quaid. Almost borderline abusive. He was so hard on this kid, but he could play ball and he could hit anything and it would just go yard.
Yes.
Do y'all still say that, yard?
Go yard.
Is that still okay? I had to ask. I don't know. We said it in the 80s, so I didn't know if it survived. But anyway, it's another one that's really kind of sad when you understand the outcome of the movie. And they roll the credits and they roll all the words of how it ended. Well, Jason, final thoughts. We're going to wrap up here. And wasn't Dennis Quaid in one of the Major League movies? Ooh, I'm not sure about that one, Russell. I have to do some research, but I
don't know.
Randy Quaid might have been in one of them, his brother, but I don't remember Dennis being a player in either one of the two. I know they did two. They may have done a third that I never watched.
I think they did a third one, but I know the two. I haven't watched the third.
Yeah, the third I don't think anybody watched because it had nobody in it. I mean, the second one didn't have Wesley Snipes in it. He was just in the first one. They replaced him immediately. But what I've heard backstory on him was everything you see of him doing baseball is a double because he was so bad. He just had no baseball finesse whatsoever. Running, batting.
Yeah. But I remember there was some sort of like debunker or Mythbusters thing where every single one of the videos of Snipes running is in slow motion because he looks so slow in full time where they had to slow him down to make it look like he was faster.
Right. And I think at some point they put the face on him. They did the face off. I don't know. But I'd heard that he was just not athletic whatsoever. Yeah. So final thoughts for the folks out there. Come to the ballpark.
Go enjoy baseball. Like there's so much to it. There's so much you can just be a base level fan. You can be in depth, but there's great baseball movies and great baseball games everywhere.
Absolutely. And Russell says, well, Michael Jordan wasn't good at baseball. It's kind of true. He was not Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, phenomenal. Michael Jordan, not so much. Not so much. Hang out in the back room for me a sec, and I'll join you there in a minute. Well, guys, that's the game for today. We had Jason Ruffcorn, professional baseball pitcher, with us today, talking baseball, talking movie baseball. What's your top tier baseball movies? Put it in the chat. I'd love to hear your opinion. So much to pick from. So much good baseball movie stuff out there. Hey, it's Scott, Rafters Sports and Movie. We'll catch you next game.